folks, in this video I want to just hit upon some high points in the course syllabus. One of the first things that I want to draw your attention to is just some basic contact information for me. As I said in the Blackboard overview, there are many ways that you can get in touch with me. I welcome calls or texts at a reasonable hour, really before 9 for a call and before 10 p.m. for a text, and of course you can email me anytime. I'll also be in my office at Greenfield during these times, Monday and Wednesday mornings. I'll be available online. You can always grab my attention by texting me first, and then we can connect. But I'm also available at other times, either on campus or I also often do work at various coffee shops around Lancaster. Another thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that this is an accelerated course. We'll be moving at roughly a little bit faster than double the speed of a traditional 15-week course. And so you can expect to do, I think, reasonably between 8 and 15 hours of work. So that's a combination of doing the reading and watching the videos, completing the learning activities and quizzes, and working on your projects. So that's just something to keep in mind. There will be roughly 2 due dates each week. You'll typically have something that's due at the end of Thursday in a week, and then we'll finish the week at the end of Sunday. So just keep that in mind as you're planning out your week. Since this is an online course, you want to make sure that you do have reliable access to a computer and the internet. I also strongly encourage you to save your materials to some type of cloud-based service like Dropbox or Microsoft OneDrive. That way, if something happens to your computer, you don't lose all of your work. Another thing I want to encourage you to do is all of your Blackboard work on Google Chrome. We have found that that works better, particularly for taking quizzes. In the course, there will be a variety of ways that I'll be assessing your performance. That's a combination of some projects, various weekly learning activities, including the quizzes, as well as the walk in their shoes work that you'll be doing. Now, another thing I want to urge you to do is, in addition to saving all of your information to the cloud, definitely create a backup of your work on Word. Even though you can type directly into, let's say, the Blackboard course or the wiki or a journal reflection, I think it's a smart move to do your work first in Word, run a spell and grammar check to it, save it, and then copy it and paste it. You want to make sure that in all of your written work that you are citing your information. So I have provided links to the online writing lab for APA style. This can also be found in the Getting Started page of our Blackboard course. In terms of college policies, another thing I want to draw your attention to is this issue of academic integrity. Now, a challenging thing that many students experience is understanding what plagiarism actually is. So I have provided a tutorial. There's a link here as well as on the Getting Started page that will help you to better understand what plagiarism involves. I think we all know that if you download a paper in its entirety, that's plagiarism. But I think it's also important to keep in mind that if you are quoting information, even if you change a word or two, if you are basically lifting somebody else's material, it needs to be put in quotes and cited. And also, if you are taking information from an external source, you need to make sure that that information is cited. Even if it's an interview that you're doing, make sure that you're giving credit for the fact that this is not your idea. Failing to give credit is a case of plagiarism and will certainly be penalized. Our college does have a variety of supports for students. If you need to reach out for some additional support with whether it's an online course or with any of your courses, really, I encourage you to reach out for the Center for Learner Success. Often students fail to reach out until maybe it's a little bit too late and they're doing really poorly in a course, but I think your high achievers tend to reach out fairly early on. Another thing, especially since this is a site course and I want to draw your attention to, is that you do have access every year, you and if you have any family members, they as well, would be eligible to 3 confidential visits to a counselor, a psychological counselor. And after that point, if you and the counselor decide it's worthwhile to continue, Quest can help you do all of the billing for that. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, definitely reach out. If you call this number, you'll speak to a real person, not just have to press a whole bunch of keys on your answer pad. Another thing you will find in this syllabus are the expectations for each of the graded learning activities. You have information about the Understanding Psych Research project, You will each be creating a wiki. In weeks 2 through 5, you'll be responsible for creating one wiki. There'll be a total of 9 different presentations available, and all of you are expected to respond by commenting to 6 of those 9 wiki presentations. So the project really involves 2 things: creating your own wiki, responding to others. Second big project is we're doing the Walk in the Shoes project, where you will be looking at some real world sources like blogs, videos, maybe an interview, to learn more about what it's like to live with a particular mental health condition. And I'll have a video for each one of these projects. Now, each week you're going to be doing weekly learning activities. These will vary. Sometimes you'll be doing a journal reflection, maybe a group discussion. Sometimes you'll be using Google Slides to collaborate with your group. And more information about each one of these activities is it's on the syllabus, but it's also going to be in the weekly announcements that I'll do. So definitely check out those weekly announcement videos. I mentioned in the Blackboard overview that you will also be doing each week a weekly quiz. And as I said on the Blackboard overview, it's multiple choice. You have about 60 minutes to do it, and you will have 2 opportunities to take each quiz, and the average of those 2 opportunities will be counted as your grade. So those are the high points for the syllabus. The second thing that I want to draw your attention to is the schedule. I tried to put together the expectations for each week on this single page document. I know it says there's 2 pages, but the last one is just blank. I couldn't get it to delete. So for each week, I've listed the topics, the reading. Here is a listing of all the required online resources. In the Blackboard overview, I mentioned that I've also provided various optional online resources. These are not listed here. This is just your directory, so you know what's required of you. And then in this column, all of the things that are required activities you need to be doing. In some cases, they will be a group work, like in the case of the slides or the discussion board or the UPR presentations. Other times they'll be individual, like the quiz, or the J here stands for journals that you'll be doing. So this is just a nice thing. I'll summarize it in each announcement, what's expected for each week, but this is just a nice way to plan out so you know what's expected each week. If you do have any questions, you can always post them to that course information discussion board, or you can drop me a line. I look forward to working with you.